So it's going to be hard to top Terry. As you can tell, I'm in the office. I'm not out on the lake, anywhere in the sunshine. It's snowing here today in New Jersey. But I thought it was important that I sent a quick little video to show everybody in the company where sales is in regards to our targets for this year. As we go through 2019, we really have some ambitious targets for both iTech and for DocLive that's going to require a lot of people's support, help. A lot of what we're doing is going to introduce new products, new services as we continue to build out this company and also the team involved. This is a short little recap of where we are today and year to date in terms of revenue as against our goals, as well as a couple quick wins or even some of the projects that we've closed over the last 45 days that are worth mentioning. To get started, I think it's important that we really understand as a company what the targets are for the quarter. Sales has a top line close one sales, we call it, target of a little over $1 million for the quarter. That's broken up into iTech as well as ES sales targets for both new business and account management. Happy to say we're real close to our targets right now. If you look at the green bars on both, let's say iTech, we have a target for the quarter of 390,000. Right now, we're at 236,310. If we were looking at where we are, kind of, in the middle of the quarter, we should be around 260,000. So we're slightly off that target, but confident with some of the projects we're working on and new clients that we're bringing on board that we're going to be able to hit that targets for the iTech side, as well as ES. Target of the quarter is $620,000. We're right against that metric there. Right now, we should be right around 414,000. Today, we're at 399,340. So this is just a quick recap. I'll continue to send this out to the team so we're all aware of where we are with our top line close one targets. Ultimately, those targets then result in revenue, which is invoiced out. So we obviously have a much larger target in terms of closed one business than what might come out in terms of revenue that Sharon's tracking or individual departments are tracking. So that's a quick little recap. Hopefully next time I do this in about 30 days or so, we're going to be continually to be on pace. I'm confident in a lot of the things we have happening here in the sales department. And I just want to share a couple shout outs or quick wins on the iTech side of things. So if we look at the iTech side, we have Hoffman and West as one of the clients. Hoffman and West recently came over as a new iTech Universal customer. That means that we provide complete IT support, consulting services with them. Within the first 10 to 20 days, we were able to increase and a lot of projects in there, which was the introduction of switches, firewalls, server, computers. It was a complete equipment refresh, which was trying to get done prior to the busy season for a CPA firm. So I appreciate everyone's help on the sales side as well as on the operations side to really get that done in a very, very aggressive timeline. So kudos to everybody on that. Hansberry and Company. This was a website lead that came into to iTech where somebody was a small CPA down in the Vineland, New Jersey location and needed something different. So we met with them. They contracted with us for the iTech Uni services, which once again is complete IT support, as well as Office 365 and a backup services. So we're poised to be working with that team down there in Hansberry and hopefully moving them forward. The next one we have is going to be Hempstead and Company. This is a local organization that's in Cherry Hill, where same thing, they were with a local MSP. They wanted something a little bit differently. They had some situations that were happening there. We successfully onboarded them, and really that same time day that Andrew or Ryan and Bob and I were on site, we sold them a project to upgrade some of the existing hardware that was in place there, just to get it up to better times for what was required. Last one here, I guess second last one here is J. Ambrosi. They were an iTech Uni client last year, but we have a really aggressive and detailed IT roadmap for 2019 with them. That's including servers and computers and cloud and all these certain kinds of things. Well, we got the first PO in for that project was around $50,000 to replace a few computers, a few probably being 35 or so computers that had to be installed in that organization. So that's a first step in some of the projects we're going to be rolling out to J. Ambrosi Foods. So you'll see that coming your way and the project plan to implement that shortly. Last one here is Freshwave. Freshwave's been on our target. They came on board with us, I believe, in December with an MSP. They were moving to a new ERP software, which was very interesting. And they found that the hardware they had purchased wasn't really meeting the specs for that ERP solution. So through a lot of conversations, a lot of work with Bob and the team here, we were able to kind of get them put in the right situation. They gave back the old hardware to the old vendor, and we were able to put in a whole new VM host, backup services, firewalls. We're doing label printers right now. It's a small little distributor that needs a lot of things that's similar to like the LNKs of the world that we deal with when it comes to Wi-Fi servers, computers, switches, firewalls, scan guns, Zebra label printers and such. So we had a good story. We were able to help them out. They're really, really happy with our services, so thank you to everybody there. But they're the key companies that kind of contributed to the success of where iTech is over the last 45 days in regards to our revenue or our close one opportunities. If I move now into the ES side of things, there's a couple things of note here, one being Mitek. Congratulations to Stephen and the team there for bringing on Mitek, which is a DocLab AP automation solution on our subscription model. And as you know, our target or goals going forward here in subscription is to really get our recurring revenue built up on the ES side, which helps for not only growth or employee growth, but also for R&D development and other things we're doing as we continue to build out the company. Second one here was Mueller Industries. Nancy worked with the team in Mueller on a couple optimizations, as well as Pentair had an optimization that I know Nancy's been working with on the team to get those out. And the last one here was LNK International. That was something I know was a good combination effort from Bob and Cindy. But, so both ES and the iTech divisions working together on that, as well as Nancy on some of the initiatives they have. I think that was about a $46,000 project that we went with for LNK there. So kudos to everybody to working together. It kind of shows that 2019 we have a fresh start, a lot of good things happening. It's always good to see a mix of current client optimizations as well as new business coming in, because that's going to help feed the pipe as we go forward. And there was one big win that I didn't really talk about, and I started thinking about, okay, we got another deal that came in for DocLab. It was a long process. It was a big deal, and it was done by Stephen, who was somebody that's relatively new to DocLab and the services in our services here. So Stephen's been with us for a little bit less than a year. As you may or may not know, I'm in the office here that was once occupied by Rich before he left out to Texas, if you will, or Newtown back then. And he's left a lot of things around the office. I see things in the closet. I see old Treos and Blackberries in some of the desks that are here. But one thing he left, I saw when I first moved in here, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to keep this kind of a back of wraps, not going to share it to anybody, because that one time, when I want to present, talk about Stephen and how well he's doing, I truly want to use it in this kind of format. So let's start off first with Stephen. And I only know Stephen, obviously worked with him over the last year. I know many of you have known Stephen as he was a little kid, but I know Stephen through pictures left in this office I'm in. So I don't know quite the timing of it all, but I truly want to, take the idea of Sales Impact, this little campaign that I have working that's not only for training of the team, but also sharing all these stories with you, to show you what truly Sales Impact is happening. And Stephen is a good proponent of that. So here's Stephen when he was little. Maybe Rich, you can share. You can even tell us what time that was or what year. I know Stephen was around 1983. Then we had the Pix iTech, or excuse me, Pix came about. That was done. Rich and Terry started Pix. Started to move forward, and then obviously things were good. Stephen was living at home. Rich was there. Everyone was hugging. Everyone was happy. There was no college at that time. There's no one out married on their own. It truly was, controlling all the cats at the house. I can see how that is right now with my kids I have. So that was a cool little video. I was picture to see, and the interaction of Stephen as he gets a little bit older. So I walked through some of these here. These studly man there in the little collared shirt. Now he's getting into the beach. I know they really enjoyed the beach. Delaware and all these areas, getting into the beach. And then DocLab came about. And I'm sure it was on top of Stephen's mind that he wanted to sell DocLab services. Why not? Who doesn't want to sell DocLab software into our customers here? So, but first he had to get through his manly side, right? He's going to be doing basketball. I know Stephen was a tough athlete, very persistent, aggressive. I'm sure it's maybe a Rosenthal trait or such. And then lastly, we get into the Stephen I know. that Steve and I met maybe a year ago to understand really what sales impact would mean. And I think I just wanted to share this story here with everybody because I think it's important to show that when we work together as a team, we have a vision, we have a message, we have the operations and team behind us to deliver these services, we can really close the second biggest Doc Live deal. So congratulations to everybody. This is Continental Structural Plastics. It was about $250,000 deal on Doc Live, which is the second largest behind Yang Fen, and it was done by Steven and the team here. So I just want to show kudos to everybody that's supporting on them, but more importantly, show the process that Steven went through to be able to close that deal. He had to start off at 2 years old. Then he had to understand when PIX was created. He had to get through basketball. Then he had to come into Sales Impact and deal with me every day, right? Which is crazy. But and now he's being able to say that he closed the second largest deal here at Doc Live, which is for CSP. So once again, congratulations. We're looking forward to some really big things coming up this year. We have some aggressive targets for 12 new clients. If we do that, we're really going to hit it out of the park. So thanks, everyone. Just in closing, I like to end my meetings with a little bit of a quote that really relates to me sometimes. I'm a creature of process and accountability and things like that. And I'm not quite sure who the author of this was, but I thought it was important for me to even realize is that I want to be stubborn about the goals. So be stubborn about your goals, but flexible about your methods. Sometimes that's hard for me, right? Because I think I had the way to do it or a different idea. And I think it's important that everyone on this team that works with us, the input is valuable. We all have the same goals. We all have the same revenue targets. We have all these things, but everyone has a flexible way of getting or method to make that happen. Right, so it's important that we all listen, we all contribute, and we all help to move this thing forward. So hopefully everyone enjoyed this little video. More to come. Anything else you want to talk about, feel free to reach out to me, and we'll talk in more detail. Take care.